Hi guys, Milan here, and today I'm gonna bring a much requested video finally. After many years, here's my settings, everything you need to know, everything I use will be explained in this video and shown. First I will go through my settings in game settings, then I will share my Reshade preset which I use and I will talk about it later in the video. For the VIR settings, that is pretty much all maxed out. Probably you don't need all these game settings. Everything is maxed out, scaling is 400%, that's fine. And as you can see, everything is maxed out. For the audio, everything is pretty much stock. I don't mess with it, only with the music volume and UI music volume, that's it. If you want to use voice navigation, you should activate this, but I don't really use it, and that is pretty much it. Sometimes I tick off the backup beeper, but that is personal preference. For the game menu, here I tick off fatigue simulation off always. Almost always now I keep the route advisor hidden. This will stop the GPS on the corner to stop popping when you enter a location or something like that. Sometimes I even mess with the random road events, detours or the rain probability, but the majority of the time I keep it default. Also, sometimes I disable this. This will hide the blockers you see in the game. For truck settings, I do this, but this is not optimal, okay? I take the stability to the lowest point and the torque, drive shaft torque to the max point. But this is not optimal. I haven't explored this yet. I disable the truck speed limiter, of course. And transmission type I use sequential, because I use keyboard and mouse, but we'll go to it in just a sec. For realistic gameplay, sometimes I activate the air brake system simulation and realistic fuel consumption, but this is usually what I use. Everything else is pretty much, I don't mess with it whatsoever, as I use the keyboard and mouse to control the truck the majority of time. This is the keys I use, even though some things are written in Portuguese. To shift up and shift down, I use shift and control. I use this to shift to neutral, Q. This is when I come to, for instance, a full stop. Instead of me clicking 9 times control, I just click Q one time and shift another time, and the truck is engaged in first gear to initiate the drive, if that makes sense. I have this gearbox switch automatic sequential. This is I use in the numpad the dot key. This will switch, as the name says, switch the game from switching the gears itself for me to sequentially shift gears, and that's it. I've been recently using or testing engine brake, but what I usually use is retarder. For the engine brake, I am testing using the arrow keys on my keyboard, and that's it. For the retarder increase and decrease, I use A and D. As I steer with my mouse, I don't need those keys, and as my hand is in above these keys for accelerating and braking on W and S, having the retarder keys in A and D, it's very easy and helps a lot. Everything else here is pretty much default. I sometimes, when I use front suspension, front and rear suspension up and down, I will normally use the numpad keys 7, 4, 9, 6. It's what I use. But the thing is that I'm running out of keys, and usually I use those keys for the opening and closing the truck windows. For the left indicator and right indicator, I use the side of my mouse as two keys. So I use one to turn on the right indicator, another one to turn on the left, and that is it. It's as I'm steering with the mouse, it helps a lot. For the light horn, this is the flashing with when I want to flash with high beam headlights. This is the light horn. I have the left mouse click for it. Control speed increase or decrease, I use page up and page down keys. For the infotainment display mode and navigation zoom mode, I use keys in my numpad again. This allows me to control the GPS view inside the cabin and turn off the GPS in the dashboard, which comes with the truck, and only have on the phone GPS or the GPS we place in the front window of the truck. I have this trim width reset. This allows me to reset some information on my truck. This is, for instance, when I want to know when I drive a certain distance, I know how many miles I did and how much fuel consumption I did during that trip. This is really useful for it. To open and close the windows, I again use keys in my numpad. This is the keys I use to open and close the truck windows. Now I use tab to zoom in the interior camera. This is very useful. I use the tab key, but this might have some headaches. If you play Truckers MP, this is the key used to open HUD to see the players around you, so I don't really recommend this key if you want to use it in the Truckers MP. Everything else, it's pretty much default. I really didn't change it. To control the truck, I mainly use keyboard and mouse steering. This is the setting I have with my mouse sensitivity. To my mouse, I use 750 dpi, if I'm not mistaken, and that is pretty much it. Everything else is the same. For the Reshade settings, the preset I use is in the description. I'm not sure if I was able to find the original download link for this Reshade preset. I'm not sure who the author is. I've been using this Reshade for quite some years now. If you want to use my Reshade, bear in mind that this takes some resources of your computer. If you want to see the difference between my Reshade preset and the original game, please visit the link in the description close to the download link of my Reshade preset. There is a video of a comparison I did between the Reshade preset I use and the original game without any Reshade on it. So I think that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Have fun.